A true honor to be introducing for the very first time 7 Minutes With. 7 Minutes With inspirational people, inspirational Afropolitans, Afropolitans who have paved the path and who are pioneers in what they do. Afropolitans who are unapologetic with who they are and what they've had to do to become exactly what we find inspiring about them. The very first one, 7 Minutes with Zanele Morrison. We're talking about the Director of Marketing and Corporate Affairs. Where? JSC. Money.
Yes.
Money.
Exchange of money. The movement of capital.
When do we find it okay as women to say, I want to speak about money? I want to be in control when it comes to the exchange of money. I want to be a gatekeeper and I want to be a narrator when it comes to that. When does it become okay for us as Black women to say so and to become that?
And I think we're lucky that we're part of the generation where we can now. It somehow feels like we had to be given permission to talk about money. And it was probably a result of the paternalistic society we came from, and our families were run. But I know that my mother did actually run the money.
Yeah.
You know, because she ran the day-to-day affairs of the money, and our abilities to have really relied on my mother.
Yeah.
You know, so and my mother once said to me, and I said to her, look, you know, why do you do this? Why do you not talk about money? Why can't you like just be free and tell me why we don't have and when we have, why we have? She says, wait until you're older and wait until it's your turn and see how you do it differently. And I felt like she gave me permission.
Because that's what I wanted to ask is, so then when did you consolidate the humility that comes with managing money well, but also being able to say, I want to work in money and talk about money and be part of the conversation that is proudly money?
And I think I've always approached life with great humility, but when I went to work at the exchange, I had to even have greater humility, because as much as I knew about money, I did not know about this foreign world, you know. And I think even within us at the JSE, you'll find that as women, we're still not having freely the conversation of the ignorance we have that we've inherited about money. So for me, it's a daily, I talk about it all the time, and I make a fool of myself, and I say, I know nothing about this, but if you tell me about this, and if you tell me, I mean, I know a lot more than the average person.
Of course.
But the fact that I always approach it with such humility gives other people the courage to say, oh, if she can ask a question like that, then I can ask a question like that, or if I don't know about that. So I really think we've got to set the example of just being humble about our lack of knowledge and say, what is that we need to learn, and teach each other, humbly so.
Yeah, and by virtue of being who you are the first in your generation, possibly the first in your family to have ever represented your family in the JSC. What is it like on a daily for you?
Let me tell you, every single job I've had, I've challenged my family to try and describe what I do.
Radio, Voice of Soweto.
Yes, and that was easy. So, okay, she's in radio, you know. And then I was doing this leadership consulting, and I was running across the continent, you know, training people, and my parents couldn't wrap their head. Why are you training in Africa?
Yeah.
You know, like, what are you doing in Nigeria? No,
Yeah.
I'm doing leadership development. What does it entail?
Yeah.
It's been so difficult for them to actually grasp. The more I went into corporate, now my sister just says, we've just given up.
Oh, wow.
We just say she works at a bank.
And when it comes to your vision and your abundance and how you give back, what is your vision for yourself?
For myself? Yeah. Oh, wow. I have not thought of that. But I believe firmly I am where I am because of what I've given. Yeah. So if I continue to give, I guarantee abundance for myself. Yeah. And I'm free enough to know that if I let it go, that God knows what form it needs to come in going forward. Yeah. So I'm not prescriptive about where I want to go get my abundance, but I'm open and I receive. But I receive by giving to others. And that's where my investment is, if that makes sense.
Completely, because right now she's 25. She's listening to you and I. She's found herself at a call center. She finds herself in a retail store, but she wants to be significant. She wants to speak with the authority that you have, and she wants to command the audience that we both have right now. What do you say to her today?
I think I say to her that I think I wake up so that she can see that it's possible. You know, I go to work and I keep my position and I keep being ambitious in my job because I have the option not to be. I have the option to take the easy way out. I actually do. But I choose not to because somebody's looking at me, and she is probably 25 years old.
Yeah.
She's in her first year at the JSE.
Yeah.
And she tells me that your confidence, you're standing up there with authority, your knowledge inspires me, and it makes me think that I can do it. So I keep waking up so she can see that.
And to your great-great-great-grandmother, what do you say to her and what you've become today?
I think my gratitude goes into the freedom I was given to be me. And I think sometimes our freedom is taken away when things happen to us that should not happen to us as young people, especially as young women. And there's no criteria. There is no answer as to why you are given and why someone else's freedom is taken away through traumatic events in their lives, you know. But again, I think those of us that stand up and rise and stand strong and are authentic every day, we give hope to those who know that they should also be here and they should also be doing this to keep at it until they get to their greatest point. So to my grandmother, especially to my mother and my dad, I think that they gave me such great space, you know, to be myself, and they complimented everything that I did. And no matter how not great it was, they were like, well done, you know. So really the gratitude that goes into allowing me just the space to do this.
Thank you for being you, and thank you in the words of, you just reminded me the words of our Miss Universe. Thank you for occupying that space, because you've given us courage and you give them courage. And we continue to move in hope and confidence and being unapologetic in who we are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Profoundly so. Thank you. You're amazing.
Wow, thank you to hear that from you.
Zanele Morrison, everybody. 7 minutes with the incredible marketing director of marketing and corporate affairs at the JSE. Thank you.